call, please. The Righteous Kitchen.
Today I'm going to show you how you can render lard to cook or bake with. I am making my mom's recipe for ribs and rice. There is a video on my YouTube and there's a written blog on my blog. You could look those up and I'll leave a link in this video. To start, I'm using country style ribs and I went ahead and rinsed them. You want to rinse them to take care of any bone fragments from slicing the ribs. Just want to make sure all the bone fragments are out. So I've done that, and what I want to do is I'm going to render this fat down and reclaim it as lard. All right, lard is just as expensive as Crisco or butter, and what I like to use lard for is in my recipe for cornbread. It makes it super moist and flavorful. So what I'm going to do is put these ribs in a crock pot and I'm going to cover them with water. I'm not going to season them at this time. My goal is just to get these ribs tender to where I can separate the bone and the fat. I want to be able to have it fork tender, and then when I come back I want to be able to pull this fat off, and if there's any bone that it could just be removed just by pulling it off too. So these are going, just cover them with water, and these are going to cook on high for probably 3 or 4 hours. Then I'll come back. Okay, these ribs have been cooking in the slow cooker for 3 hours. They're tender, they can break apart. What I'm going to do is put these in a bowl and let them cool off slightly so that I can handle them. I'm working right inside my pan. I'm separating the fat and the bone. This fat has already started to melt. It's nice and soft, but I'm going to help it out by breaking it up just a little bit more and putting it back into the crock pot. Just squish it. And it'll keep rendering the longer you cook it. I am going to go ahead and let this cook down for a few more hours. I have let this fat render down for 4.5 hours, and there's still a little bit in there. So what I'm going to do to finish this is I'm going to get some of this water out of here. All right, I think that's enough. I'm going to get some more of that water out and see if I could get just a little bit more of that fat to melt. Okay, I put the fat back on the crock pot for just about another 15 minutes to get the last little bit out of there. All right, all that's left is suet. So I'm going to go ahead and just throw that in the garbage pan. So I have this in a clear container, and you can see that the fat rises to the top, and all that will be lard. What I'm going to do is let this cool down to room temperature, and then I will put it in the refrigerator overnight and scrape off this lard. Okay, I am back and I'm ready to finish up this lard. So it's been in the refrigerator overnight and the fat has come up to the top and it's solidified. All right, over here I have a bowl of ice water. It's very cold, there's a lot of ice in it. I'm gonna I'll do one and then I'm gonna fill this up again for a second round. Okay, all I'm gonna do at this point is just come in here and get all this fat. I don't really care if any of the water comes with it or any of that broth. But I do want to just make sure and get all the fat. Okay, you can save this broth here. It's already been strained. This is good for pork flavored rice. All right, we have the lard in here and we just want to clean it up. So we're going to come in here and rinse this. Just swish it around. It's the same as when you're cleaning off your homemade butter, when you want to get all that whey out of there. Well, this is just getting all the broth that's in here and the little suet that's clinged onto it. All right. There's our first rinse. You could go in there and kind of brush it off. See there where it gets nice and clean? If that's too cold, you could always use your spatula. All right. Okay, look at that. Just like the butter, you're going to want to pat it dry. Okay, I just kind of squeeze some of the water out. All right, and that's all there is to that part. All right, let me grab a mason jar. There we go. Didn't even need the spoon. Okay, let me zero out the scale and we'll see how much lard we reclaimed. Okay, I have 5 ounces here. So that's, you know, it looks to me like enough to make a pie crust, make cornbread to cook with, to flavor beans or greens and stuff like that. I hope you enjoyed this video, how to render lard.
Thanks for watching The Righteous Kitchen. Make sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.